Okay. We are in Clifford Chance. Thank you, Clifford Chance, for sponsoring the NOIRE Space. I said NOIRE podcast. The NOIRE Space. Thank you so much. But we are in Clifford Chance, and we actually have two guests with us. Two lovely guests, who are trainees from Clifford Chance. Would you guys like to introduce yourself?
I'm Drew. I'm a first seat trainee. Shall I give like a full intro?
Or just we'll get into that, Drew. Okay.
I'm Damalula and I'm also a first seat trainee.
Okay, how are you guys? How was your day?
It's still early.
Yeah.
It's too early to tell.
It's still morning. It's kind of started off busy.
What time did you get in then?
So I got in at like 9:15.
Girl.
Yeah, I get in quite early to be fair.
You used to get in early.
I used to get in early, and now I go to the gym in the morning, so I come slightly later. But before, I used to be in by like 8:45.
Did you do it to show face?
No, it was just kind of nice to like start early before everyone comes in, and like I like when the office is quiet, so I would just come in there. But lately, I go to the gym first, so I'm in by like 9:15, maybe even 9:30 if I'm feeling cheeky.
Wow. So what time do you like wake up? That's a big thing for me because I'm not a morning person.
Yeah, I'm a morning person, so I wake up at like 6:15.
Every day?
Every day.
That's my New Year's resolution.
Yeah,
It's not mine.
It's not?
It's not. Because it was my New Year's resolution for this year. Resolution?
I ignored it, but
Don't you dare. Don't ignore it. It was my New Year's resolution for this year. And I mean, what can I
here we are.
say?
do you know what? Life happens, you know.
It honestly does.
Yeah.
It actually does.
6:15 is crazy. But some people do like a 4 a.m.
I can't. I feel like that doesn't make sense. I get 5 a.m. I still wouldn't do it, but like
4 a.m.
that's still nice.
The birds have not woke up yet. Like, there's no reason for you to be singing before the bird is.
And it's so dark.
It's
really dark.
Yeah, do you know what? I understand, like, in summer. Like, maybe you wake up for a
when
run
it's
or
bright,
something.
yeah.
No.
Because
In summer, your days are so busy as well.
So true.
Why do you want to get tired by midday?
No, that's so true. And that's why I feel like if I woke up earlier, I'd nap more. Like, I nap already. But I think I nap like 5 times.
I'm not a napper.
You're not a napper?
No.
So what time do you go to bed then?
I go to bed at like 11.
Okay, that's not
11:30.
bad.
Yeah, it's not bad.
You're on it with a routine.
No, literally.
Wow.
Do you remember? Oi.
Do you know what? Let me start with the good. So when we started in about like late August, but like properly started working in September.
Okay.
And me and my friend who's on the same floor as me, we were like, okay, we're gonna go to the gym. We're gonna have a 23-day program, and we would get in and we'd get to because they have a gym here. We'd get to the gym at 7:20, and then get to work at like 9:15, 9:30.
Yeah.
And that was going strong for a month. I have to back it.
Do you know what? I'll give you myself. I thought you were going to say a week.
No, it was good. And then stuff got real. And I was like, yeah, I'm now barely making it in for
literally.
9:30.
And all it does is it takes one day to just say no, let me not
Yes.
And then you're done.
And then it's
Give
it.
up.
It's too easy to
There's
fall off.
something about
No, that's it.
It's something about going to the gym and showering and getting ready and like in the same workplace that doesn't sit right with
That's
me.
why I can't use. I haven't used the
do
work
that.
gym. Like I can't. I use the
Yeah.
gym in my apartment and then I come in.
I think you need to have some kind of transition.
Separate.
Yeah, like why am I bringing my belongings? I might
can't
as
imagine
well
showering here.
sleep here. I'm gymming, showering, get ready, straight into the
Guys, the
office.
gym is free.
That's true.
Then I would do it after work, maybe.
Yeah, that's what.
Go home.
Work.
But the problem is with after work is I don't know.
You don't know when your day is gonna end.
When is after work?
Like that's the issue.
Okay, so before we get into like all the nitty gritty of like what your days are like as a trainee, we have a this or that prepared just to get to know you guys, something light.
I like these.
Before we go into like the corporate, serious, you know.
And don't worry, we're not going to be asking, when we talk about corporate side, as well, for anyone watching, we're not talking about like testing your commercial awareness.
This is not the Watson Glaser test.
So this is part of your
Do you guys
interview.
do law?
Yeah, we both do. Yeah.
I think once we do this or that, we'll probably talk about where each of us are in life.
Okay.
Personally, yeah.
And professionally. Okay, cool.
We got a this or that, so.
Okay, so first one, night out or night in?
Night in.
I was gonna say the same.
Night in.
Night in. Okay, I should have guessed that with the, you know, the 11:45.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But you know what? I think I'm night in as well, you know.
You.
Yeah. If I'm out.
Tough
it's a
is
choice,
night
though.
in.
It's a choice though.
Exactly, it's
It's
a
the
choice.
choice,
My friend
yeah.
will say that, like when I say night in, they're like, "Why are you lying? You look but it's
If I
the
had a
choice.
Tough has her hair laid
Girl, bye.
in the cab on social media every night.
If I had a choice though.
You would stay in.
Yeah.
Okay. If
I would probably throw a lot of house parties if I had like a big space.
No.
You know what?
Really?
That's what I can't wait
Yeah.
for. Like to move into my own. Not like
Yeah.
I hate my family or anything.
No, but it's just
have your
it's
own,
out of respect even.
Yeah, exactly. Like to have your own space where you can
Yeah.
have people round.
Yeah.
I think I'd love hosting.
And then
Oh, I hate
night in
hosting.
because then
as soon as they go,
Exactly.
you just slip into bed. That's
Literally.
great.
But the only thing about hosting is when do they leave?
Exactly, that's why I hate it. Because you
Yeah.
can't be like,
Get out. But then you know what? Sometimes some of my friends. I think it depends on who.
It depends on who
If
it
it's
is.
your friends, I know some of my friends. They just say, "Get out. I'm going to bed."
Yeah.
Or they'll say, "You lot stay here.
I'm good to
I'm going to
Oh,
bed."
it
Really?
depends.
And leave
It
them to
depends.
your house.
It depends.
I can't, exactly. I'm too much of a
For
control
me,
freak.
I would just
Yeah.
pull the plug from the speaker. Everyone's would be like,
Turn the lights back on.
Yeah.
Then the electric went out or something.
Power cut, literally just
Yeah.
turn the lights off.
Something. I'll just say, "Guys, emergency."
It's
please,
time.
the gas is finished."
No, but I think I'm night in as well.
Girl,
Yeah.
choice a lie.
So
Yeah,
all
so-
night, night
Yeah,
in.
we're all night ins, yeah.
We're all
All
fake.
homebodies, yeah. Okay, cool. Next
Alright.
one.
Summer or winter, guys. If you say the wrong answer, I'm walking out of here.
Because you're bad vibes if you say the wrong one.
Summer or winter.
Summer.
Okay, damn it, perfect. Do you don't like your answer already?
What about winter?
My birthday.
Do you know what? I'm born in winter as well, but I will still.
But the
say
thing
summer.
is, I really do love summer, but I like winter for the cozy home
It's
in
too
vibes.
cold.
That's why I
It's
like
too
to stay in.
Over.
True,
Yeah, and like the heating is on,
the heating, you know.
but I don't know.
Do you just remember? Just cast your mind back to a few days ago.
But the heating is on during summer for free.
So true.
Yeah, but then it's too hot.
That's the only thing. We need
When
more
it was
air
40
conditioning in this
degrees,
country.
I couldn't sleep.
I couldn't breathe.
I wanna actually be annoying and say autumn.
No, do you know what? Yes, I'm a spring anyway. I'm spring.
Yeah.
but
You guys
know-
are boring. That was not part of the question.
I'm gonna change the question.
No, okay, we're gonna just take it. But you know, in summer, I remember one day in summer it was so hot. I hid on my bed under my bed,
literally.
so that the sun couldn't.
But you
burn
know
me.
when it's winter, I miss everything about summer. I miss sweltering on the central line.
Girl, that-
On the
I miss-
central line.
Oh, yeah.
I'll take the central line.
I miss coming home and stripping. I miss everything that I
You don't,
hate.
you
Everything
just
that I
said
hate during summer. When it's winter, I miss everything
Nah,
about
you
it.
don't. You don't actually miss it though.
No, I do.
Nobody can ever miss
I
the
would,
central line.
I would,
No, please.
in
Yeah.
summer.
I would take that over winter. Winter's so boring and depressing and just
It
like.
is, it
But that's the
is.
thing, a lot of my hobbies are things I can do in my house.
Like-
So then I have a lot of fun. Like I love reading, I play
Okay.
games, like
Okay.
watching
Okay,
films.
fair enough.
and things like that is better for it in
winter.
Yeah,
For sure, yeah,
because
that
then
makes sense.
nobody's asked me to go out other than
Exactly.
Like,
And you have
sometimes.
so many excuses not to leave your house. It's so true.
exactly.
Did you see the level 2 weather warning yesterday?
No.
Oh, because the
that's
floods.
an excuse, right?
Oh,
In the winter.
Yeah.
I thought they were talking because the just shut up.
Yeah,
Oh
that's
no,
what I
there was
thought.
That's what
like
I thought,
There was like
because it
a
was like
level 2 weather warning, flooding. Yeah.
Yeah.
So there are so many excuses during winter. Like as soon as I saw that, I was ready to call into work. Like, did you hear?
Safety, you want me to come in?
Okay, next one: Chinese or Indian food.
Just to clarify.
Just to clarify.
Chinese for me.
Oh, that's so tough. I'm gonna say Indian
Okay.
Really?
because I'm a vegetarian, and I find that there's more like
options with
options for
Indian.
me. Yeah,
I
and I love me a naan. Oh,
Or that I love naan.
Do you
Top 10.
like peshwari?
coconut. I'm allergic to coconut. But it looks really good. I'm gonna say I would love it. Yeah.
Yeah, if you weren't allergic,
Yeah.
honestly, maybe on another life.
Yeah.
Try it.
What about you, Tom?
I'm just gonna say Chinese because I'm obsessed obsessed with China. Like, I'm gonna go eat.
I feel like there's so many options with it.
That's it. Yeah.
There's
Chinese
range.
for me as
That's what I'm saying. Whereas I feel like with Indian, like I feel like there's options with Indian, but I just get the
Certain
same
ones
thing.
I yeah, same.
Whereas with Chinese, like I'll do Russian really.
Yeah,
everything.
Yeah, Chinese for me, 100%.
I know you so well.
Is that a Nigerian thing or something?
I think it's
maybe.
Were we all eating Chinese?
No, but the thing is, the best Chinese I've had
It's
is
Nigeria.
I can't
Really?
lie. I can't lie. The Chinese, they're bangs.
Really? I'm heavy against eating Chinese food in other countries for some reason.
What, you
like,
India?
yeah, but like when I go to Spain and I see a Chinese store, I'm like,
I wouldn't do that.
like it just doesn't sit right with
I
me.
think it depends on the country and their takeout culture.
Yeah.
Let alone Nigeria. So like, why are Nigerians
Because
making Chinese?
Nigeria, there's a lot.
They do it good.
They do it good, I can't lie.
I would have to try it.
But I saw a tweet about that. They said that the best
Yeah.
Chinese
Really?
Yeah,
It was
Wow.
it was Dami. It's called Bernard. Okay. Next one. We'll just do two more.
Yeah, sure.
Three more. Series or movies?
Series or what?
Movies or film.
I think it depends on my mood.
So true.
I can't answer these
We've
questions.
given you such difficult questions.
Yeah. I think during Christmas it tends to be movies because I love to watch a very cringy Christmas movie.
Yeah.
But at other times during the year, probably like a really short series, so like 10 episodes, something I can binge in the weekend. I'd be like, oh, wow.
Yeah.
And I love like nostalgia of films. Like I will watch old like Disney.
Oh yeah, I can't rewatch stuff.
Really?
No, literally, I've never rewatched
I am a
anything. I just
rewatching
can't bring myself
addict.
ever.
That's great. Most of the stuff.
What are you rewatching now?
I just rewatched Harry Potter.
Okay.
That's a Christmas like winter thing.
See, that's what I feel like it is.
Do you know what? I thought you meant you rewatch series.
No, I haven't rewatched series.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know if I've rewatched films. Like there's films that you, but I would rewatch series first before I rewatch a film.
Wait,
I
it's
feel
so
like-
long to rewatch.
Yeah, it's very long.
I need.
I'm starting Gilmore Girls,
should.
which
Oh, I've heard
I
that's good.
I saw like 2 episodes around the time, but then I didn't like finish it. So that's what I'm on at the moment.
I feel like I did the same, but I just couldn't get into
I
it. But it might be one of those that you...
I feel like it's a
Yeah.
slow-ish
A slow burner,
But I
yeah.
also feel like that's one of the things where you had to have been there. For us to
think?
start now, it's just not the same. Like
No, but that's how I felt about Desperate Housewives. Because like in the era when
It was
everyone
such a thing, right? Yeah.
But no, I watched it after everyone.
Yeah.
Like
And
I
it's
was
okay.
obsessed.
See, that's the thing. I feel like I've missed the Desperate Housewives.
It's not too late.
It's
I'm
never
like,
too, it's there.
It's
there,
amazing.
right?
I spent because we had like 6 months. Well, I had 6 months before I started the LPC. So I spent that time watching Desperate Housewives. Like I made that my
Did it take the full
personality.
6 months?
Yeah, even during I finished it during the LPC. I remember you saying so I was like, I need to go home. I need to watch Desperate
Yeah, I have
Housewives.
this bad trait of making shows.
No, literally, I'm like, those are my people.
Yeah,
like I need to go back to
I
them.
literally go and I go, what are you watching right now? So that I can connect. That's how I network. It's so
I literally
bad.
don't watch anything. It's very bad.
So
I
what do you
just,
do?
Everyone asks me that.
Like,
Literally
TikTok?
nothing. I'm just on
YouTube?
TikTok, YouTube. Yeah.
Okay.
Fair.
I don't really.
I felt that way before, but during COVID, I sort of like got into
That's the
it.
thing.
No, but with me and YouTube, we've been rocking together since I was young. Like, I was
back since YouTube Rewind
like,
days.
I never really watched because you had to pay for them
That's
things.
the thing,
I remember
yeah.
thinking
Yeah.
like Netflix was like a luxury. Like you
Yeah,
lot have a
the rich
Netflix
people
account.
have,
Like you lot are paying for subscriptions, especially
Yeah,
when you're
but
young.
I mean,
So true.
Who's
Let me
gonna
not
pay
say
for
it.
the subscription?
There's
Because
no
like my family
DVDs
don't really
and
watch.
videos.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's true. So I was just like on YouTube watching like Patricia Bright, like really getting into that. So I've actually like really followed these people's journeys. A lot of people that are like influencers now.
You've seen them.
Yeah, that's the sort of thing
Grown
that
up
they
with
do.
them.
Yeah.
But
Hopefully they see this. They can.
yeah,
Yeah.
Patricia Bright, Jade Pierce, some of my people.
I hear YouTube.
Okay, next one. Instagram or Twitter?
Instagram.
Twitter.
Really?
Yeah.
Twitter.
I can't lie.
I literally just got onto Twitter.
Yeah.
I've never had that app. My friend actually made my account on my birthday, and like my bio is like managed by like my friend.
I like
and like sometimes I go on it, and I'm just like, Twitter is crazy. I can't
crazy,
believe.
but
No, I have so much
Hilarious
fun there.
though.
Like that's what I mean.
Yeah.
Like,
It is fun, but
It's hilarious.
I
but,
feel like it's also very free. Like Elon Musk is trying to, but
Political.
let's not get into that. I think it's just like very like I literally I'm bored. Like I just tweet random things. I have a burner though, so that's easy.
That's the.
But I think that's like burner culture just helps you. Like I tweet whatever I want. I see my friends tweets. Like we just have fun. Things are funny. Things are serious. Very chaotic. Whereas I feel like Instagram is just very fake. Like Instagram gives me so much anxiety. Like I use it. Don't get me wrong, but it's very curated.
Yeah, I think I could probably spend longer on Twitter than Instagram, just because I think Instagram used to be quite free, but then like now it's very serious and entrepreneurship. Promote your story.
Influencer culture.
It's just me and my friends having fun, and the next I just promote the story, and it's like sometimes I just want to have fun. But I really hear the Twitter thing because I think me and my friends we have a burner community.
Yeah, that's how it is. So we all follow each other.
We follow chatting the most, just putting things personal lives and things that you wouldn't tell like people that aren't on the burner community.
Yeah.
Just, like we're not spreading hate or trolling or anything, but it's just you can be like that.
sounds fun.
I think you just have to get into it.
I was definitely taken aback by Twitter though. Like, I can't believe we live amongst the people that are on Twitter. It's crazy the things that people say.
No, literally.
But are we gonna do the last?
The last one. This one was a bit cheeky, actually. I was gonna segue into what a lot of guys probably came here to listen, not just this or that. Clifford Chance or
Linklaters.
CC.
Clifford Chance or Freshfields?
CC.
Clifford Chance or
Context CC was my first choice, so it's gonna be the answer. It's gonna be the answer.
Okay. Just so you know. Oh, I thought of just another quick one. Solicitor or anything else? Oh. With like, if you had any kind of
Kept woman.
a desperate housewife. Anything
With
else?
a rich husband.
Yeah, exactly. Keep point.
Yeah, I would say something else.
Really?
Yeah.
Really?
Because for me, like, I did want to do law for a long time. Like, I was annoyingly one of those people. But I've also just wanted to do loads of things in my life. So if I had the opportunity to like explore those, I would want to do that.
I think I would still do solicitor.
Okay, well that like segues us in
Very nicely.
quite nicely.
Yeah, I think it'd be nice to like introduce where you guys like we know your names,
So you didn't know my story.
your story, we know everything about them. But like where you guys in your like law journey, like in terms of like. So if you like, because we're kind of newbies. So
Okay, yeah. Should we like give you a rundown of
Yeah.
where the questions are coming from?
Yeah.
Okay, so should I start?
Yeah. Please.
Okay, so I'm a second year law student at King's, and that's literally it.
There's more to you, Joy. Don't say that.
Like what?
You're interested in law, no?
Okay, so I want to go into I want to go down the solicitor route. At the moment, I'm thinking of like commercial to segue into music law. So I'm like really targeting like IP firms that specialize in IP, but depending on who will take me, I might just go right into the music, because realistically, who's got time to waste? Like, it's a very long process. But at the same time, I'm like thinking of like the perks of going to like a Magic Circle firm. Like, a lot of them pay for your, what is it that I'm gonna have to do? The SQE. Yeah, a lot of them will like fund it. So that's the sort of thing that I'm thinking, like, I'm already taking a bit of a financial cut by going into music. Yeah. So do I want to do something that I love and then like take on a lot of debt, or do I want to kind of just do what I need to do and then do something that I love? Yeah. So that's basically where I'm at.
I'm in my fourth year. Damn, I feel so old. Why did you have to say what you're doing?
I'm second year, I'm a baby.
Bye. I'm in my fourth year. I was telling you earlier, I did a year abroad. And then I, by God's grace, got a TC at DLA Piper. Okay. So that one starts in 2024. So because I took a year to do my year abroad. I'm doing my SQE. So that's...
Well, you're doing it now.
Really?
No, not now, but I'm doing my SQE next year.
Okay. Is it like not the LPC?
Yeah.
No, not the LPC. So that's interesting. But right now, I'm interested in IP as well. But it's like, I don't know what specifically. I know there's things I like.
Yeah.
But I don't know if at this stage you should come, because I know a lot of guys do at this stage come in and they know exactly what they're into. Corporate, M&A, and it's like, how do you know? How do you know? And I feel like, I don't know how to say this, but you guys seem very normal to me. You know, like, in a sense, like, when you meet a lot of lawyers, I think I can say this. Lawyers aren't normal. Like, a lot of lawyers just aren't.
I don't understand how it appears that you came out of the womb liking M&A contracts.
Do you know what I mean?
How?
Like, it's like
We'll get into it.
because it's kind of like, and I think as someone who's trying to like make it and trying to find their interest and like with hope that's in like a commercial kind of area, sometimes you feel pressure, and am I doing this right? Have I done enough research? Because it seems this person knows that they want to qualify to be a partner in 2056.
They've already planned out the journey,
the year that they're going to qualify
at the firm.
Exactly. So like, what's you lot's like kind of journey into law, and like where are you now, and how
What
did
are
you get
your
there?
interests? All of that.
No, literally.
Okay, Drew can go first.
So actually, where you guys are at is surprising to me, because when I was in my second year, I didn't know anything. Like I was just like at A levels, I want to do law. Like, I like the research. I like being able to help actual people. I didn't know about the whole process at all. LPC who, I didn't know what it was. I said, what do you mean I have to apply for schemes in my first or second year? What is going on? And all of my friends around, so for context, I went to Cambridge Uni. So a lot of my friends around me, they knew what was up. They knew I want to be a partner in 2014.
From year 12.
Like I was drowning, and I was just like, what am I doing? Like, and I really had strong imposter syndrome where I was like, maybe I can't be a lawyer because
I haven't been doing anything.
I haven't been doing anything. Like, my CV is empty for anything commercial. What is commercial, and why is that different from corporate? So essentially, I had no idea. But then I think I just spoke to my friends, and I was just kind of like, 101, tell me what's going on, let me help me. And then like slowly I started doing applications, and I actually didn't do much in my first year. I started around my second year, and I like got Clifford Chance, and this was the one where I fully put my all into the application. So I only really applied to about, I think, 5 different firms. And I, like, this is the one that I got through all the stages. I was like, you know what, it's 100%, so I'm just going to keep it at that. And even, like, once you come here for open days or for the vacation scheme, they give you an introduction into the different types of law you can do. And even then, I was just, like, not sure, really. But then in my third year, I studied labour law, which is, like, employment law.
Really?
And I loved it.
Nice.
And, like, I think for me, I was always leaning towards doing something that had more of, like, a social impact. So I was leaning towards either family law or employment law, because I thought those are 2 areas where everyone has a family, everyone has a job, hopefully. And even if you don't, those areas concern your life, like in the world we live in. And typically it's the kind of areas where most, like, disadvantaged people need the most help, because family law doesn't have to be like helping rich people's divorce settlements. Like, it can just be like somebody called domestic abuse, or someone called social services, like, what do I do? Or like just interesting issues that I want to help with. So I was leaning towards that, and then Clifford Chance has an employment law area, and I was like, that's it, that's where I'm going. So it came to me a lot later, and lo and behold, I'm sitting in employment law now, and I am enjoying it. It's a lot of work sometimes. Other times it's quite quiet, which is nice, because Clifford Chance mainly work with big companies, like finance bros, so they're doing the M&A stuff.
Yeah.
So like employment is seen as like the kind of corporate support most of the time, which
They hate that name.
they do hate it. I get it though, because this is not an employment law firm.
Yeah.
But I actually haven't done much corporate work, and I think that's just because of the state of the economy.
Yeah.
But I've been doing a lot more like advisory stuff and pro bono matters, where I am helping people with like, my employer fired me unfairly, what do I do? And that's like, okay, it's stressful, but it's like, okay, this is kind of
Very worthwhile.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's amazing.
Sorry,
my
Dam, just
journey.
before, did you apply to CC through Spark?
No.
Okay, because I know like in my head,
90% of the cohort
get Spark.
one.
Oh, I hate you.
No. But I got the vacation scheme before they stopped running it.
Okay, because I think sometimes it's easy to feel like if you haven't done Spark or like first year schemes,
Yeah.
because first year I was chilling.
Yeah, same.
I did nothing.
And then a direct application sounds scary.
Yeah, and they always preface it on the website like, we take most of our trainees through the vacation scheme. So I'm just like,
So what's the
so
point?
what am I doing here?
Yeah.
That was scary. That was scary.
But I know quite a few people who like, I always thought, sorry, my thoughts are very jumbled. I'm dyslexic, so don't mind me. Like, I'm thinking out loud as I'm speaking, basically.
That's what we encourage.
Yeah, but I used to think like a direct training contract application was for people who like came into law later. So like maybe you'd already graduated uni and you'd like taken a year out, and so you'd had like a professional background experience. But to say that, I know a few people who applied direct training contract while still at uni. They just didn't go through the vacation scheme route. And I think it's very similar. Like they do, at least for Clifford Chance, they do kind of tailor the interview to your level. So I think for Spark, I don't know, I didn't do it, but they are like, they don't expect the same level of commercial awareness sort of thing. Which is just to say like, as you're further on in your journey, maybe you know a bit more, but it doesn't have to be like super hard or scary.
Yeah. And Spark is the second year Clifford Chance scheme, right?
First year.
First year.
Or a second year on a 4-year degree. Yeah.
Okay, and then if you get Spark, like you get an interview for the facts.
It's not, no, so if you get Spark you do well, at the end of Spark they invite some people to an interview for a training contract.
Wow.
And then off the back of that you get your TC. But obviously if you don't do well in Spark then you don't get the interview, or you might get the interview and not get the TC.
Okay.
So tell me, are you telling me that you had your TC bags in second year?
In second year?
No stress.
Yeah, before second year started.
Damn, that
Before second year
must
started?
have been such a stress-free 2 years.
It was.
Wow.
But it's because you put in the work in first year, right?
Yeah.
While we were chilling, you were sleeping.
What was I doing in first year?
Surviving.
I think you just have to choose when you want to chill. You want to
Yeah.
chill after or
Yeah.
before?
100%. Yeah.
Yeah.
But Dami, what is your journey?
Oh, okay. So mine is kind of different to Drew's. So I, from A levels, I sort of knew I wanted to be a lawyer, but at that point it was just, I want to be a lawyer. There was no, there's a barrister route, there's a solicitor. It's like, I want to do law at uni. I come from a family of lawyers, so it was sort of imprinted on me. But yeah, so I had decided I wanted to do law quite early. I went to LSE, and the culture at LSE,
I already know what's coming.
the culture at LSE is very, very corporate and intense in the way that it's corporate. So,
School of Economics.
yeah,
They don't play with it.
they don't play. So even though I hadn't like thought much about what kind of lawyer I wanted to be, quite early on, everyone, well, not everyone, a lot of people were sort of, are you going for this open day? Or have you visited this firm? And stuff like that. So quite early on, it was already in my head. Okay.
Sorry. Joyce is loud, the biggest sigh. It's triggering. Trigger warning.
Yeah, so the environment was very like corporate-y. So I just sort of fell into the trap of, okay, everyone is doing this. So let me do it as well. And I think I had come to like a rare thing in the summer before first year.
Shout out, Rare.
Shout out Rare. It was actually here. So it was at CC and it was in here. And so from then I was like, okay, Clifford Chance, like, I like the sound of this place. I like how it is. I applied for that open day. I didn't get it. And I was like, oh, should I apply for Spark? They'll probably reject me as well. But then I did like loads of first year schemes in first year. So I applied for CC, Ashurst, Linklaters, HSF, Hogan Lovells, basically all of them. Because it was just sort of like, I might as well figure out which one I like, or if I have the opportunity to get something in first year, why not?
Yeah.
So yeah, I did all of them, and the CC one was the last one, and it was in summer. Yeah, it was really scary, I'm not gonna lie, like being in the firm and like all of that, and wondering whether or not you're gonna get the interview, because I feel like at that stage I was just sort of like, this is where I want to come, and I don't want to go back in September and have to start doing applications. Like mentally I was just like, I have decided. So yeah, luckily it worked out, and I got a training contract offer before my second year started. So that was quite nice to be able to do other stuff in my second and third years, like do societies and stuff. In terms of like the type of law, again, I hadn't really thought about that within the firm. I was just sort of like, I'll figure it out when I come here. And I think on the LPC, it was sort of corporate that I felt like I was leaning towards. Right now I'm in project finance, which we call energy and infrastructure, which I really like. Projects, even though it's a finance seat, technically, there is corporate work in it, so it's sort of a mix.
Like, isn't like, none of the firms have the same names for any of the work.
Yeah.
So kind of like a brief explanation of energy and
Project.
infrastructure.
So it's just like organizing the financing of projects. So like on the infrastructure side, it tends to be like trains. It might be a wind farm, worked on some wind farms, solar power plants, metro lines, stuff like that. So it's just working on the financing behind that, but there tends to be a corporate element in most of them, which is quite nice. And I think with energy, it's very sector focused, which also sort of makes it more interesting, because like you're doing things across different countries, like might be a power plant in Nigeria, like, so that's quite nice as well. And for my next year, I'm hoping to do a corporate seat, because I do still feel like low key, that's corporate. Yeah, but I really, really like energy.
I think that's quite very, I don't know, inspiring. I don't know. I really like when people tell their stories, especially because this law journey is not easy.
Yeah, it's not.
I think it's really important for people to hear different stories.
Yeah.
Like there are different paths to getting to the
there's
same place.
Honestly, like speaking to Toph was actually the first time that I realised, especially like going to a London uni, where like King's is definitely not as intense as LSE at all, but it's still very much like, you know, there's this open day. I've applied to 50. Literally, I was on a personal tutor meeting, and she was like, my personal tutor was like, oh, so is anyone applying? She's completely against it. She thinks it's like,
they're very like the teachers tend to be.
She just thinks it's very intense, and it's like the real deal. What really matters is that you get your degree, not that you secure like a grad job, because what's a grad job with like a third? So, I mean, what fell. So, and she was like, so, you know, like, is anyone applying at this point? I haven't even looked at an application.
I don't even know what
This is second year, by the way. So this is a few months ago. And then someone on the meeting was like, yeah, I've like applied to 50. And I was like, safe.
You're doing too much.
How do they have the time?
Exactly. Like,
You're doing too much.
But this is the thing, like, we'll probably go into like what the applications are like, because even when I tell my mum that like I'm applying, she's like, oh, can't you just like copy and paste? She's like, can't you just flog your CV to everyone? I was like, no, mum. It's not quite like that. Like every question's pretty much tailored to the firm. So how did you guys go about applying? Like, did you apply strategically, or were you just like, I'm going to apply to all the Magic Circle firms? What was it like?
I think I did a bit of both. So in my first year, when everyone around me was applying, I felt some pressure. So I was like, let me just apply. Let me just go on to
Put something in.
onto Legal Cheek and look at the firms and just apply. So I applied to, I think, not all of the Magic Circle firms, but like 4 out of 5. And then all of the, what's the next, like Silver? Like,
Silver Circle.
Yeah.
no, I applied to a lot. I felt like that was my downfall though, because I was applying to so many and of course trying to tailor it, but sometimes the tailoring was changing the law firm's name and that was it. Like it was a lot to do that whilst doing your degree, and a lot of the application processes is around the time when you're revising. So it was just not a priority for me.
Please, nothing shocked me more than sending in my application and getting, you've got 48 hours to complete.
What?
I said, what?
What took place? Leave me alone.
Situational judgment. Don't worry, it's just a light-hearted test. Honestly,
Please.
you need no prior knowledge. Get
No
there,
prior
there's a
knowledge.
timer in the corner. You can't go back. Yeah,
And then asking,
honestly.
is this an assumption? What assumption are you making?
Yeah, honestly,
No.
strong argument or weak
argument.
Like, don't worry.
It's just mad. Any answer, really.
In your opinion, but you need a certain
We
threshold.
just want to know what you're like, you know?
You need to know. But you need to be in a certain percentage.
Isn't that so crazy? Like with the situational judgment, it's like we just want to gauge how you would be, like
How you answer and they say no.
and then like
We don't like your thought process.
brain.
I just think it's so trash. Like, I really think they should get rid of it.
The
'Cause
situational judgment or
nobody
what goes
thinks
on?
the same.
No.
You just want me to think the way you want me to think.
Yeah.
I think what they might be trying to test, obviously you guys are there, so let me know, but I think it's just like your critical thinking.
Yeah.
Like even
What
though
would you
they
do in a
know
situation?
realistically this is what you would do, what are like the pitfalls of doing that? Why wouldn't you do that?
Yeah.
Do you get what I mean?
Very
So
insightful.
It's true, but I feel like there's a
I feel
better
like
way to do
in a
it.
situation like that, if you are really stuck, like, and the person is there, just
They don't want you to waste time.
Yeah,
really.
it takes longer. What I try to do is I go through it like 100 times to make sure, okay, I'm actually confused.
Yeah.
And then I go to the person, I'm like, okay, this is how I understand it, but like I'm still a bit confused. Like, can you explain again? And most times, I guess it would differ from firm to firm because I know at some firms there's some scary people. But at least here, most people are like quite willing to explain things to you and like just pop into the office and like, hi, can you please, please help? I'm freaking out. So I think that's quite good here, but I don't know how it would be at different firms.
But Drew, you're quite skeptical of the application process?
Like if they were asking questions that were situational like that, where it's like a partner's giving you work, what would you do?
Yeah.
I would like that more, rather than cars are less safe to drive. Is that what assumption are they making? Like,
Yeah, I'm not a fan of the Watson glaze, I have to admit. I had to, like I did that test like 100 times.
Same.
Every day I was doing a new Watson laser test.
I was ready to rename my first son Watson.
No, for real. For real.
I did so many, and I think what you said about like sometimes you let the pressure get to you and you just start frantically applying.
Yeah.
I think quite a few people will go through that phase of just. I remember one first day, just for the sake of saying I applied.
Yeah.
First day, I realised that it was much. I had niched my name. I had
It's like, what am I doing this summer?
And the thing is, the problem is, people only come and tell you about stuff until
Once
it's
they
too
got
late.
Yeah.
So it's like, I only found out about the Spark guys after they had got it. I wasn't back.
And then you go and check it, deadline's tomorrow.
Deadline was 2 weeks ago.
So it's like, okay, cool, what's still around here? I remember I did one fresh foods application. It was due midnight. I literally, I'm so sorry for the grad recruitment that had to read that thing because there was no proofreading or nothing because I was just sending something so that I could feel like, I've done an application. But really, that application was probably trash. Because I think you shouldn't really like, I think it's very difficult to say though, but you can't let the pressure make you crumble.
I agree.
Like what you guys both said, you guys both like knew the firm that you wanted and you made sure that application was proper, and it's better to do a Then wait the next year. Do you
Yeah,
know?
I think it's definitely quality over quantity. Like even when I was trying to do, like I was just like, I'm not going to do more than a certain amount.
Yeah.
And it also depended on when the deadlines were, because there's no point in me trying to do 100 in a week. Like
Exactly.
I'm not going to get any. So you might as well pick the ones you want.
Exactly.
Shortlist and then do those applications as you go. If there are any clashes, then prioritize one. I just don't think it makes sense to do 50.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know there were 50 firms.
And like, where you finding 50?
But Danny, you know what you were saying about like pick the one you want. I completely agree. But I've got a question. You know, people always say, "Oh, like why this firm?" I think when you're applying and when you're
They all
such
seem
a-
the same.
They all seem the same. Like all the websites.
Yeah.
Yeah,
It's just a different colour.
Different colour, change your words, but you lot have used synonyms for words. So how would you both like recommend that like you actually find a firm that like, nah, I really rock with this firm and I really want to give my energy to this firm?
I think the best way to do that is like interacting with people from the firm. So even though I didn't do the open day, our law society had loads of different talks. It might be like with different firms, or like a law firm day where like different law firms would speak. So I think the most important part for me was actually speaking to people and feeling the vibe. And when you could go into the firms, because there are other opportunities other than open days where they sort of like might invite you, and having the chance to like be there, so not even speaking to people, just feeling the vibe, and also speaking to people, I think is what helped make my decision, because there were some firms that I was like, I'm not even gonna bother applying here because I don't like the vibe.
People,
I wouldn't get along with the people. So as cliche as it is, because everyone says it, it genuinely is how the people are, because these are the people you're going to be working with. You don't want to work with mad people. So I think that is the easiest way to distinguish, because at the end of the day, okay, yeah, we're all band one in this, we're all doing work like this. So on paper, they are very similar, and the only way you can differentiate is speaking to people and seeing like, okay, what are people actually like?
Andrew, did you have any non-negotiables when it came to the firm? Yeah.
Diversity.
Really?
Yeah.
In terms of what though? Because these places, a lot of firms aren't.
No, that's the first thing. When I go on a website and I go to their diversity section, they say, our target is to get 50% of women. I said, that's not for me. Because I know what kind of women you're looking for. It's not the diversity, it's not enough. Yeah, and then also like, I would go onto Legal Tea, love that website, and I just go to like the percentage of their senior associates that are from a black or a person of colour's background. And then I'd look at the partners as well and see the percentage for that as well. And for me, like, also diversity in terms of like social background, like where are you from?
I was going to say, because you can get black and then you can get...
Black people are not homogenous.
No. And there are a lot of firms that will like, they'll have schemes and they'll do things. But I felt with Clifford Chance that even if it's not everyone, a lot of the people I was interacting with, they actually cared about helping different people get into law, regardless of what your background or whatever you've had to face to try and get into law. And that's where you'll hear so many different stories of like the head of pro bono now didn't even start thinking about law and was just, I think, just randomly put in an application, and then they offered him a job. And then I remember talking about it in my interview, and I know that they say like your interview is meant to be a two-way thing where you're also interviewing the firm, and I think a lot of people are scared to do that. But like just ask questions. And I remember in my one, I just asked, I was like, what are your like diversity, not like quotas, but like what are you doing for diversity basically? And like how does it look to you in the firm? And that helped like get an understanding of how people on the ground are actually dealing with it, and not just like the recruitment or the marketing. That was important to me because again, you spend a lot of your time working. So I want to work in a place where like at least there are people like me.
What's it like to be a black female lawyer when like, sorry, I don't know why. I don't know why I did that. But it's like, you know, like I think sometimes it might be difficult as black women to enter these spaces when you don't see a lot of people that look like you?
Yeah.
So what are things that keep you lot going? And like, what's your experience as black women in law?
I think that in our cohort, at least, actually not just in our cohort, I feel like amongst trainees, at least, there are quite a few black women, black men. So I do think that helps. Like on the LPC, like we had our ACS group chat, like we had each other, like as well as doing stuff with the larger cohort. We sort of did our own things, and like having people who are like you, look like you, to support you was quite helpful. To us. I don't think I've really struggled with anything since starting, but at the same time, someone in our cohort who I'm really close to, and is black. She's in my team, so like having her there, like I keep saying, I don't know what I'm gonna do in my next seat, because I'm so comfortable because we started together that like just being put on my own might be a bit scary. So because of that, I wouldn't say I've struggled so far, and people are very welcoming. So there hasn't been that, I feel kind of like, at least in my team.
It's very similar to me, and it shocked me because when I started in employment, it's actually quite a diverse team. It's really small in comparison to the rest of the firm. So about like 13 people in the team on the whole, but we have like I think the first black female partner is in employment.
Oh damn.
Yeah. And you know, she's been here for a while, so she knows what's up. She's really busy, but she's so lovely. And like, I just remember she just struck up conversation with me in the kitchen one time, and I was just like, me? You took this to me?
You kind of want to put your head down a little bit.
Literally, like, yes, ma'am. And then there's like, I'm on my floor. There's 2 other trainees that I'm really close with. They're both black women, and then in my team, there's another black woman trainee who's been here for about a year and a bit. So she's been able to help me as well. And I just go up to her and I'm like, how do I do this? Help me, what's going on? And it's so nice to have somebody who just understands you. So I feel like I will be scared when I go to a different seat.
I do think that there's still that like imposter syndrome, because especially when you interact with certain white men, and we have a few in our cohort who are just like, oh, they're lovely, but just there's a certain way that I feel like they view the world, and that benefits them. And it's sometimes like, oh, do I have to act like that if I want, like if I want to be besties with a partner, do I have to have that persona? So I think that can be sort of hard to grasp, and that is probably harder in certain teams, for example, corporate. So there's still that worry that like, is there a disadvantage of being a black woman, like cultural differences, stuff like that.
And even like adding in everything, I have to remind myself, you're at work. So then I feel like, oh, I can't speak a certain way. Like I'm not gonna use slang every day, but it's just the way I would say some things, or just my mannerisms, and I'm conscious of that because I know that I've been told that that's not very professional. I'm like, do I have to not act that way to be perceived like I'm good at my job? But because my team is actually really the people in my office especially, they're quite diverse. I felt really comfortable, and I just remember there's a black man in my office. I just remember like within the first 2 weeks we were just talking, and then he said like, wow, and she said that with vim, and I was like, in the office. I said, okay.
I think because that encourages you to just
exactly
listen up just a little bit.
I don't know, just add a little in it,
a little sprinkling, just see how far I could go. You said you wanted me to bring my whole self to work. Let me bring my whole self. But
like I imagine that CC is Clifford Chance is kind of like, they want you to show your personality. But I think as a black woman, what I'm kind of scared of when I go into these corporate like environments is, how much do you want of me? Do you know what I mean? Like, do you want? Because you kind of have to be filtered because of like society.
You just have to be like, that's not whether the firm is the most diverse in the world. You still like, as a person, okay.
It's life. Do you know what I mean? But I think it's, how do you strike the balance between? I want to be myself because I'm at work, and a lot of the time you're going to spend most of your time here. So I want to be myself, but I also want to be treated the same way as
Yeah.
my white counterparts
Yeah.
would be.
Yeah.
Um,
And even I know, having said that story, like, one, that guy is very senior, and two,
yeah.
he is also a man. So
Oh,
I feel like he'll maybe have more confidence of being
Yeah.
able to navigate these spaces, but due to his experiences.
I think it also comes with time. Like,
Yeah.
obviously, the more senior you
Yeah.
get, the less you're conscious of what people think about you
Yeah.
in that way. Because it's just like right now we're trying to still secure our jobs.
Yeah,
no, literally, like, you can't do an interview.
To play up a little, but like I do think eventually you'll be able to a certain extent, just be your full self.
Yeah.
and do you see, like, what do you see in the future for Clifford Chance in terms of diversity? Like, do you feel like there will be a point where we don't need support? You know, hearing you guys' experiences, I think that's like great. It's lovely that like we have ACS and whatever, but I do also think it's crazy that we still need support as like black women or as black people. We need people that we can relate to, and why we can't really just like integrate by now and just be ourselves and not have a different experience. Yeah. So do you feel like things are getting better? Do you feel like the strategies in place are actually working, or is it very much just so that it looks like we have something in place to attract people like us, and then once you get there, it's like, okay, so where was that strategy plan from 2018?
Where's the targets?
Where are the targets?
I feel like for integration, well, it sounds like segregation, but I feel like what you're saying about like fully just being like, oh, I blend, I just don't think that is plausible. Not in the firm, just in general, just in life. Like, you're never going to fully, like, I went to a predominantly white boarding school, and even though I did get along with most of the people, I still wasn't 100% able to be myself. Like, you still have to act a certain way, but that's just because we're different people. Like, I don't think it's possible, but like, it might be cynical to completely be like, okay, yeah, I'm 100% comfortable here. Like, I will always personally at least need that comfort of someone else that looks like me. In terms of the firm, I do think that they're trying to improve it, because at trainee level it is very good, but when I look up, it sort of trickles down, especially at partner level. I don't know if that's a case of people jumping ship to other firms, or just like not progressing, or if there just isn't enough being done at those levels. And I did speak to a partner about it in my team.
They're both, you know.
Yeah. And he was also like, so in my team, the last two people that were made up partner are him, who's black, and someone who's Asian.
Nice.
So it is happening, but in order for like more people to get up there, people have to step down. And so it's a case of time.
True.
I think. What do you think?
I would agree with that. And I would also say, as much as complete integration, I don't think is necessarily possible. Or even necessarily like desirable, because you're gonna have different interests with people, and you're not gonna want to hang out with everybody. In my opinion, respectfully. But I do think that more can be done in terms of just spreading awareness, and I think the firm mostly recognises that and is trying to work on it. But yeah, I wouldn't say we're like there, but they're working on it.
But they're working. Which is important.
Yeah,
It is
we'll take
important.
effort.
Exactly.
And there's also like, we have reverse mentoring, even though I haven't been paired up yet.
Okay.
So like,
Reverse mentoring, did you say?
yeah, so they pair, well, you can pick your preference. So obviously we're black women, so you could either go down the woman route or you could go down the black route. I chose the black route, so I would probably get like a female or male senior associate or partner.
Wait, so you have to choose a route? Or was that just
I
like
think the way, I don't know if it's
chose?
sort of like,
I think you can sign up for more than one as well.
oh, so you can, yeah, I guess you could do it separately, but it asks you on the form, like, oh, which one are you interested in? So I'm sure you could do 2 applications. I just did one.
Yeah.
And I decided to go down the race route. And you
That's
would...
crazy to me.
That what?
Why do we, like, why is it like race route or gender route? I am both a black woman.
You can't separate them.
I'm gonna need both, I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, you sort of mentor someone.
Yeah.
So you mentor, so if you like click the race, you'd mentor, like a senior white?
Yeah, probably. We
Yeah.
haven't
No.
been paired, so I don't like fully understand the process yet, but I
Oh, so
presume.
you mentor them.
Yeah, not that they mentor you, sorry.
Yeah.
Which is why you pick, because
That makes more
what
sense.
are you trying to teach
Yeah.
the person? Is
Okay,
it more
yeah.
about
Yeah.
race or is it more about gender?
Yeah.
So that's why there's that split, because you're the mentor, they're the mentee.
Okay.
And it's just like talking about your experiences, what they can do as a person to like
Yeah.
improve, to make the environment better for you. So that's the idea behind it, but yeah, they haven't paired me yet. So.
Yeah. But from the people I've heard, it's good.
Yeah.
It sounds
Sounds
like
like a good
if they get enough people, it'd be effective for sure.
Yeah.
Are we?
Yeah, it's 12:35.
Yeah, we're wrapping up.
Yeah. Just a final thing, I guess. What would be lots top tips? Like, if there was one thing in your experience that you could have done differently, black girls watching, trying to become a lawyer,
Any advice?
any advice? Maybe it might be don't do law. But no, what would you guys? What is your top?
I think mine is probably if you can find a mentor, because a big part of my CC application, I met this woman who I actually don't speak to anymore, but she's lovely. I met her at one of those law events, and she had trained at CC. She wasn't actually at CC at the time I met her, and I was just like, oh, can I message you? Like, can I speak to you? Can I send you my application? And through that, she just sort of became my mentor. Like, she helped me with my application. She edited it. We had so many phone calls, and it was just really nice to feel supported, and also by someone that like looks like me. So I think having a mentor and like someone that can just like answer any silly questions you have, would like support you through the process, is very helpful.
Yeah, I'd second that. And also, take your time.
Yeah.
As I think when you're surrounded by so many people doing something, it's so easy to think that you're on the wrong route. But just evaluate what it is that you want to do. Maybe take some time to just think, okay, like, this is what I'm interested in, this is where I want to go, and do it in your own time. Like, there's really no time that is late or preferred. People will start at law after having qualified in another country and then come and qualify here as well. Or they decided, I know some people who were athletes and they did their whole like
Some lawyers have crazy
career,
stories.
and then they're just like, I want to do law now. So regardless of your journey, if you're not sure, just take your time.
Yeah.
No, that's great. That's great advice.
No, literally. Thank you both for joining the podcast. Like, I just feel I'm ready to send you some applications.
Girl, you're done. This is more for me to head home and start typing.
Just wait. Jen was taking notes.
Taking notes. But yeah, thank you guys so much for sitting with us, taking the time out of your busy schedules.
No, literally.
I know Dami's itching to. She's got some energy and infrastructure to get back to.
The emails are coming in.
But yeah, thanks again,
literally.
and yeah, you guys will see more from Toph and I at least.
Yeah, maybe Drew and Danny want to come back.
If you want to come back,
Give us
feel
100
free.
likes and Drew and Danny will go.
But yeah, so we're just gonna end here. Make sure you follow us on all of our social media platforms. We're on TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, Spotify, anything you can think of, we're there. And yeah, that's it from us.
Thank you.
Bye.
Thank you.